So here we find ourselves in week 3 of this paradox journey. We're just now finally starting to catch a little bit of a rhythm of routine. It's starting again. I trust that you're finding the depth in the reading that I am. This is really good time in God's Word and seeing things differently. I'm about ready to throw 2 statements at us, at you. The first one's really easy to buy into. Every single one of us have been treated unjustly. Wrong things have happened to us. Injustice has happened to us, giving us probably even pretty good excuse to be angry and offended. But the second statement's true also, that every single one of us have treated others unjustly. We have. We've given them reason to be offended. Through our own selfishness, through our own agenda, we've wronged people. And anger and offense, it's all too common. But it's not at all correct. And Jesus spent some time in the middle of His Sermon on the Mount helping us grasp what we should do with this anger and offendedness thing. And He just writes, so you've heard it said to the people long ago, don't commit murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. But I tell you that anyone who is angry with his brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to a brother or sister, Raka, is answerable to the court, and anyone who says, you fool, will be in danger of fire and hell. As Jesus has proven to do so far in the Sermon on the Mount, He tends to kick things up a notch of what we thought. Right now, anger, He just puts it in the same bank as murder. He makes it more intense. When we think about how we try to justify anger, but we could never justify murder. But Jesus puts it on the same level. We often roll into anger and in the middle of it deal with it in some very ineffective ways. Jesus uses the name calling. He's like, if anybody uses the word raka, which is not a Greek word, it's an Aramaic word that people use to say empty. Whether it's saying that they're empty-headed or even this nothingness, like you mean nothing to me and you're closed off to me now, raka. Or even if you say you fool. And we do this a lot. When we're angry and offended, we label our perpetrator. We want to label them. We want to put the label on them saying they're empty, they're a fool, they're the idiot. And Jesus challenges us not to do that, because when we do, it's on the same level of crime the murder would be. Jesus goes on to teach, and I find this piece very interesting when I slow down and look at it more, and I believe you will too. He says, therefore, if you're offering your gift at the altar and you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift in front of the altar, first go and be reconciled to them, and then come back and offer your gift. A lot of times we find ourselves, we get busy doing things for God, and we do it sometimes as a distraction from dealing with some unresolved relationship, somebody that we should talk to, but no, I'm too busy doing this ministry thing. And in the middle of it, while you're doing this ministry thing or you're doing this worship time, you remember that somebody has something against you. They're the one with the issue. They're the offended one. They're the one. But once we remember this, that they're the offended one, not only is their worship experience hindered, but so is ours. Both of our worship experiences hindered because we have this unresolved, non-reconciled relationship. Now, even if you're not culpable in this, you are capable of doing something about it. Don't just put it off and go, no, once I'm done worshiping, I will. See, Jesus did that for you and I. He wasn't culpable of any sin, but he was capable of reconciliation, so he paid the ultimate price for us. So for you and I to stop what we're doing in our worship expression to God right then and to go reconcile with this person is the most Christ-like thing that we could do. The most Christ-like thing. In fact, you're not stopping worship to do this. This reconcile thing, it is worship. It's worship. Reconcile. Make relationships right. Jesus, even with the next phrase, his next part of the message, he says these words, settle matters quickly. And if you read on, it's just because settle it quickly or it will spiral out of control. Can I strongly encourage you, keep short accounts. Don't hold on to this. Settle it quickly before it spirals out of control. Settle it. It's your act of worship. Is reconciliation. You might be sitting right now knowing somebody that you've got something against them or they've got something against you. Don't procrastinate them. Pursue them. Pursue them. They're worth it. Reconciliation.